Good morning, Chag Sameach, Boker Tov. This is Cantor Javier Smolarz, and I am live streaming from my house. The Yizkor service for today. I don't know if you have a Sidur at your home. Almost every Sidur for holidays has an Yizkor service on the back. The service will be very similar from one Sidur to another, maybe a little bit of differences in the selection of the readings, but not very important differences. I will try to in some point to share the screen for you. One or 2 years ago, I saw a movie. The name of the movie is Coco, C-O-C-O. It is a Mexican movie, co-production between Mexico and the United States. And it's a movie that talks a little bit about the importance for the Mexican culture. I mean, the very, 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 very root culture of Mexico, or in the Indian roots before the Spanish people came, of what they call the Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead. In that movie, that is an animation kind of movie, so you can think that it's a movie that is for children. It's not just for children, it's for children and for adults, but it's made in a way that children of certain age can understand the concept of remembering the departed people that we love. In that movie, the main character was a child that wanted to be a musician, a singer and guitarist, and he has nothing, he has never been taught about his great grandfather, his great grandfather, who he thought was a very well-known popular singer in Mexico. So in this movie, in order to find his roots, this child is taking the Dia of the Dead, the Day of the Dead, the Dia de los Muertos, is taken up to the heaven, and he has a relationship with a lot of dead souls, yeah? Dia de los Muertos in Mexico is a day that most of the families, they go to the cemeteries and they take the favorite foods and music that the departed loved when they were alive, and they stay all the day there, thinking that the best way to remember them is to try to bring them back is just to do the things that they did like before. And in the story that I recommend you to see that movie, again, Coco, C-O-C-O, the child meets a soul And that soul happens to be his great grandfather. And that soul that is showing him what what is going on in that world after life, he he explained to him that when people are not remembered anymore by their friends or family that they are still alive, they enter in a high risk to die again. So it's a way to say that we die, then we have a place in a world to come, but then we can die again if nobody remembers us after we pass away. And I found this very close to our concept of remembering somebody. Because when we say Yizkor, that is an imperative way to say remember, we try to perpetuate the testimony of somebody's lives in this world of the living people. And certainly, when we are not able to remember, we are taking away his life from us. In another word, and being a little bit more fatalistic, is like we are killing the departed one whenever we are not able to remember them or to share with others or to be witness or to be a testimony of their lives in the past. I would like to share with you something that I didn't write. Um, was written by Rabbi Steve Leader of Wilshire Boulevard Temple, and it's an article. And the name of this, that was written in October of 2019, is The Exquisite Pain of Yizkor. You know that English is not my first language, so I will ask forgiveness for any mispronounced word. And I start. Many years ago, during the Yizkor service, I asked each of the 2,000 people seated in the quiet beauty of the sanctuary to close their eyes and summon a loved one who had died. Bring her to life again in your mind, in your memory. See her skin, her hair. Feel his whiskers against your cheek. See his smile and his eyes. Be with her. Speak to her. Tell her what you wish for her. Give her your blessing. Now, allow her to leave the room. Be with him. Speak to him. Tell him what you wish for him. Give him your blessing. Again, now allow him to leave the room. Breathe deeply. And when you are ready, open your eyes. Halfway through this visualization, the room was in tears. Hundreds of grown men and women weeping, longing, remembering. To remember is the quintessential act of being human, not in the instinctual, mindless way of salmon swimming upstream to spawn or squaws finding their long ago hidden acorns, but to use memory in a way that summons the past into the present and brings the dead back to life, willfully, beautifully, achingly. And then the rabbi tells about his personal experience. Last year, my father died peacefully in his sleep after a 10 years battle with Alzheimer's. We buried him in the morning of Kol Nidre, long before he forgot who he was. He forgot me. There was a new he and a new me created in the vacuum of his mind. No one and nothing was the same until I chose to remember, to bring my father back to life. I merely have to remember the simple things he loved. A slice from a perfect avocado, Hank William and Johnny Cash, a joke, watching All in the Family and his vibrating chair while peeling an orange into a perfect spiral before handing out slices to each of his wife, children, as if feeding a nest of hungry birds. He didn't know about sport or college like other dads, but he could back up a semi and operative crane or an operated crane. My dad taught me to love nature, fishing pancakes and corned beef hash. Sorry, my dad taught me to love nature, taught me to fishing, pancakes and corned beef hash. Mostly, dad taught me to enjoy a moment during that moment. So many times when he was eating something delicious and plenty to eat, or we were walking in the sunshine, he would just look around and ask rhetorically, are we leaving? But there is more to the memory of my dad than laughter and love. Harsh memory of discipline and anger, anxiety and fear are repressed but constantly pounding on the basement ceiling of my psyche with a broomstick, reverberating in ways mysterious and dark, animating my own flaws, dysfunction, and vulnerabilities. That is the secret truth of memory. We summon it, yet it controls us. It is exquisite, and it hurts, like being caressed and spat on at the same time. To remember is the quintessential act of being human. Whenever a villain is mentioned in classical rabbinic literature, his name is followed by the words, "May his name be blotted out," Imach Shemo. In the minds of ancient rabbis, the worst thing one could wish upon another was that he or she be forgotten. And yet, within that very curse, the name of the villain is nevertheless perpetuated. We can wish that evil, sadness, and ugliness be forgotten by saying, "Don't think about it," is to think about it. Again, We can wish the evil, sadness and ugliness we forgotten, but saying don't think about it is to think about it. When non-villainous non-villainous person dies with a good person, when a good person dies, a different hope is suggested when his or her name is mentioned. A beautiful wish. May his memory be a blessing. תהיה זיכרונו or זיכרונה ברוך. Seemingly different, these two aphorisms. May his memory be blotted out, and may his memory be a blessing. Speak the same truth. To be remembered is to live beyond the grave in ways sublime and terrible. But how else can we hold on to the people we love, to the past that defines us, the offenses that wound us, or the laughter and the love that warm us? What else can I do when I miss my dad so much? Nothing. Nothing other than to embrace this blessing, this curse, this imperfect gift, this burden, this holy vessel, to say Yizkor. Finally, as the rabbis say, the important thing is back to the same idea that we have in the movie that I was talking about, Coco, is to be remembered, is to remember, is to bring the one who is not here anymore back to life, at least in that moment. Yizkor is an internal, intimate, a painful celebration of a life, rather than making a death. Yizkor is a prayer that commands us to actively reflect on the memory of someone lost, to imagine her, to imagine him still with us, to understand what we lost and what we continue to lose with every passing day. With this spirit, we will recite the Yizkor. I will try to if you give me just a moment, to share. I don't know if I will be able to do that, but let me try. Let me try to share the screen that I have in this moment. No, I can't. Okay. Adonai ma'adan ותדאהו, בן אנוש ותחשבהו. אדם לחבל דמה ימיו כצל עובר. בבוקר יציז בחלב, לערב ימולל ויבש. תשב אנוש עד דקה, ותאמר שובו בני אדם. שוב אדוני עד מתי, וינחם על עבדיך. There is a time for everything, for all things under the sun. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to laugh and a time to cry. A time to dance and a time to mourn, a time to seek and a time to lose. A time to forget and a time to remember. This day in circuit convocation, we remember those who gave us life. We remember those who enrich our lives with love and beauty, kindness and compassion, thoughtfulness and understanding. We renew our bonds to those who have gone the way of all the earth, to those whose memory moves us this day. As we reflect upon them, we seek consolation and the strength and the insight born of faith. As a parent shows love to a child, Adonai embrace all who are faithful. God knows who we are fashioned, remembers that we are dust. Our days are as grass. We flourish as a flower in the field. The wind passes over it and it is gone, and no one can recognize where it grew. But Adonai's compassion for those who are steadfast, God's tenders to children's children remain age after age, unchanging. שיביתי אדוני לנגדי תמיד, כי מימיני בא לאמור. לכן אשמח ליבי ואגלה כבודי, בבשרי ישכון אל לבטח. When my loved one is taken from me, shall I mourn? When my dear one departs forever, shall I wail and rend my flesh as I do my garment? No, that is not the way. I may find the road ahead lonely. I may dread tomorrow without that voice, without that smile. I may not know whence will come the courage to continue, yet I shall not despair. I shall praise God who gave me my beloved. I shall sing unto God who enables us to love. I shall voice thanks for what I have had. I will refuse to become bitter over what I shall lack. When my loved one leaves me, I shall indeed shed tears. Yet, even then, I shall utter a hymn, a song of joy for what has been. Baruch atah Adonai, praise are you, O God. You have allowed me to know love. You have granted me an eternal treasure. This is a poem of Simcha Kling. And now we are going to do the Yizkor. יזכור אלוהים, נשמות כל אחינו בני ישראל, שמסרו את נפשם על קידוש השם. הנני אנו נוזבים צדקה והזכרת נשמותיהם. אנא ישמע בחיינו, הר גבורתם ומסירותם, ויראה במעשינו תואר ליבם, ותהיינה נפשותיהם צרורות בצרור החיים, ותהיה מנוחתם כבוד. שבע שמחות את פניך, נעמוד בימינך נצח. Amen. May God remember the souls of our beloved martyrs, of our people who gave their lives for the sanctification of God's name. May their bravery, their dedication, and their purity be reflected in our lives. May their souls be bound up in the bond of life, and may they rest forever in dignity and peace. Amen. יזכור אלוהים נשמות ידידינו חברי הקהל הקודש הזה, שהלכו לעולמם. אנא תהיינה נפשותיהם צרורות בצרור החיים, ותהי מנוחתם כבוד. שבע שמחות על פניך, ונעמוד בימינך סלע, בימינך נצח. אמן. We lovingly recall the members of our congregation, Temple Sholom, who no longer dwell on this earth. May they have a special place in our hearts. We pray this day that all who have sustained the loss of loved ones be granted comfort and strength. Exalt compassionate God, comfort the bereaved families of this congregation. Help us to perpetuate everything that was worthy in the lives of those no longer with us, whom we remember this day. May the memory endure as a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Now I am going to read the names of our members who passed away during the last year. Seymour Sperling, Arnold Sperling, Ruth Gale, Bernard Arnold, Terence Black, Herbert Smith, Howard Elickman. Our creation, the eternal one, delights in life. Because of God's love for us, and because we are so few, each of us is a vital part of God's kingdom. Though we are only flesh and blood, we are irreplaceable. When one of the house of Israel dies, God's own grandeur is diminished. May the memory of all those who we remember this day in love be an undying source of blessing to us, to our children, to all Israel, and to all the humanity. In memory of the 6 million שוכר ממרומים המצא מנוחה נכונה תחת כנפי השכינה במעלות קדושים כזוהר הרקיע מזהיר לנשמות כל אחינו בני ישראל שנטבחו בשואה, אנשים נשים וטוב שנחמדו ושנשרפו ושנהרגו שמסרו את נפשם על קידוש השם. בגן עדן תהיה מנוחתם. מעלה רחמים, אז תראה מסר בכנפיך לעולמים, וצרור מצרור לכם מנשמותיהם, אדוני נחלתם, וינוחו בשלום על משכבותיהם ונאמר Amen. Exalt, compassionate God, grant infinite rest to your sheltering presence among the holy and pure, to the souls of our brethren who perished in the Shoah, men, women, and children of the house of Israel, who were slaughtered and suffocated and burned to ashes. And also for all our brothers that they were killed in the hands of the terrorism in our days. May their memory endure and inspire deeds of charity and goodness in our lives. May their souls thus be bound up in the bond of life. May they rest in peace. And let us say, Amen. And in memory of every person who is dead, the General Malera Jamim. המצא מנוחה נכונה תחת כנפי השכינה, במעלות קדושים וטהורים כזוהר כי המדהים. לנשות כל אלה שהזכרנו היום לברכה, שהלכו לעולמם בגן עדן תהיה מנוחתם. אנא בעל הרחמים, אז תראה מסר בכנפיך לעולמים, וצרור מצרור לכם ונשמותיהם, אדוני נחלתם, וינוחו בשלום על משכבותיהם ונאמר Amen. Psalm 23. Mizmor de David, Adonai Roi, lo exar. Adonai is my shepherd, I shall not want. Binoteshe yarbitzeni. God gives me response in green meadows. Almei menuchot yenahaleni, and guides me over calm waters. Nafshi yeshovev yenachani b'ma'aglei tzedek leman shemo. God will revive my spirit and direct me on the right path, for that is God's way. Gam ki elech begei tzalmavet lo ira ra ki ata imadi. Though I walk in the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no harm, for you are at my side. Shivtecha u'mishantecha ema yenachamuni. Your staff and your rod
comfort me. Ta'aroch lefanai shulchan neged zorerai. You prepare a banquet for me in the presence of my foes. Dishneta bashemen roshi, kosi revaya. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Ach tov v'chesed, irdefuni kol yemei chayai. Surely goodness and kindness shall be my portion all the days of my life. V'shavti bebeit Adonai leorech yamim, and I shall dwell in the house of Adonai forever. How do we face the reality of death? We know that it is a fact. It is a part of life. We may postpone it. We may try to delay it as much as possible, but someday we must be confronted by it. How do we face the reality of death? By giving thanks to God of the gift of life, by voicing appreciation for the blessing we have known, by being grateful for those lives we have touched ours, that have touched ours and whose echoes still resound in us. May the Kaddish, which we now recite, be not only a remembrance for those no longer with us, but also a reminder of how we should live and the values that we should represent. Kaddish. Yitgadal ve'yitgadash Shem Rabbah. Be'alma dibra chilute ve'yamlich malchute. B'chayeichon u'b'yomeichon u'b'chayei lechol beit Yisrael. Badalau b'zman karif v'imru amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah mebarach le'olam ve'olmei olmaya. Yitbarach ve'yishtabach ve'yitpa'ar ve'yitromam ve'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal Shmei lekudesha. Brichu. Leila min kol birchata ve'shirata. Tush v'chata ve'nechemata miran be'alma ve'imru. Amen. Yehi Shlam Arava min Shemaya. Bechaim aleinu ve'al kol Israel ve'imru. Amen. Ose Shalom mimromav. Uya ase Shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Israel ve'imru. Amen. With this, we have finished our Yizkor service. I hope next time I see you for Simches. And meanwhile, have your last day of Pesach happy. Take care of yourself in these moments of the coronavirus pandemic. And hopefully I'm gonna see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. in the live stream of the Kabbalat Shabbat and Arvit. Sei gesund.